It's time now to look at the stories making headlines on the Nigerian newspapers before us this morning. Looking at this Nigeria first off, and there are a host of stories, big ones. In fact, President Tinubu signs student loan bill into law. That's one of them. As Bola Tinubu vows to give proper attention to education, says education remains the only effective tool to fight poverty. Well, the tariff hike is the most dominant story, however, and Nigerians are lamenting, calling it electric shock, as Band A consumers are to pay 225 kilowatts per hour as against the previous rate of 66 naira. Let Nigerians breathe. That's another feedback. We cannot add this to current hardship. And from former Senator Shehu Sani, increase will electrocute human lives. Other stories with us: customs FX rate for import duties gallops to 1,330 naira to the dollar. On road construction, FCT Minister Wike commends residents for patience, understanding. Windstorm leaves one dead, destroys more than 100 houses in Nasarawa State. Next is the Vanguard newspaper. Electricity still concerns as tariff hike hits consumers. It's a recipe for unrest. That's according to the Trade Union Congress. Economists also fear that poverty rate will worsen. One of them, Moda Yusuf, also adds it will not address fundamental energy issues. In other stories, Nigerian students' enrollment in varsities, UK varsities that is, dwindle. Olubadan in council meets on Friday over nomination of new monarch. Dangote refinery to supply petrol next month. APC opts for direct primary ahead of Ondo governorship race. Rakes in 720 million naira. And the CDS is quoted as giving reasons why residents of Okwama community in Delta State cannot access their homes, saying they have lots of weapons bought with funds from illegal crude oil sales. And there are a host of other riders there. You must check them out. This is Vanguard. Daily Trust is also reporting on reactions by the NLCs and civil society groups rejecting the latest electricity tariff hike. Ex-NERC chairman is quoted as saying, expect power theft. A regulator also quoted as saying, hike in gas price, naira crisis behind the decision to increase electricity tariff. On banditry, 289,375 persons displaced in Kaduna State. Customs worried as CBN hikes duty rates 28 times in 3 months. And that's it on Daily Trust. New Telegraph is also reporting on the new electricity tariff. 1.8 million of its 12 million users, which represent 15% of the users, are to pay this increment of 225 naira, which represents 1 kilowatt per hour, or kilowatts per hour from 66 naira. Disco's yet to be notified. TUC kicks says planned hike recipe for industrial unrest. And in the meantime, workers at the University College Hospital in Ibadan suspend night shift over 495 million Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company debt. Court grants DSS order to detain Nigerian suspected ISIS member for 60 days. CBN changed duty rate for goods clearance 28 times in 3 months. That's according to Adeni. Edu is quoted as saying, that's the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, that FG will commence domestic forex bonds issuance in the second quarter of the year. Naira appreciation crashing, fuel subsidy costs, that's also there. And Tinubu, Buhari, others mourn as ex-Labour leader Chiroma dies. Finally with me is the Nigerian News Direct. New tariff to reduce electricity subsidy by 1.14 trillion naira. That's according to the NERC. Cites increase in infrastructure investment as reason for hike in the tariff. Downgrades 300 feeders for failing to supply 20 hours of electricity and mandates this goes to migrate more customers to Band A. Now, fresh twist as military alleges involvement of local monarchs and communities in murder of 17 soldiers in Delta State. State police not panacea to insecurity in Nigeria. That's according to senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana. Let's check out what Ibrahim has.
Daily Independent newspaper is the first with me. Outrage greets federal government more than 300% electricity tariff hike. Okwama killings, sponsors of oil theft behind soldiers massacred, is according to Army Chief. Tinubu signs amended student loan 2024 bill into law. Mourns former Labour leader Ali Siroma. Lagos police bust kidnappers' den, rescue 2 victims. Above the masthead, Rivers Peace Pact. I'll surprise you. Fubara warns political opponents. Embattled LP national chairman escapes assassination. Residents burnt at 1 a.m. as Abure family slept. Next is the Nation newspaper. Consumers flay electricity tariff hike without improved supply. Why Band A users should pay 225 naira per kilowatt by NERC. Only 15% customers affected. No students will drop out again, says Tinubu. President signs student loan bill. 400,000 litre diesel bunker found in Lagos home. Aidatiwa Jimo Akinterinwa to face direct primary. And Shaibu's counsel walks out on impeachment panel. CDS monarchs can't exonerate selves from killing of Army 17. Otu inherited empty treasury from Ayade, says Commissioner. Next is the Daily Times. Subsidy regime. NERC increases electricity tariff for Band A customers, says review to affect only 15% customer population. To save federal government 1.1 trillion naira in 2024 fiscal year, stakeholders decry electricity tariff hike. Okwama killings. CDS Musa accuses Delta traditional rulers of complicity. And then court orders detention of ISIS suspected member for 60 days. New Senegalese president appoints controversial ally prime minister. I have no criminal record. Detained Mietiala president tells court. Make retirement easy for workers. NLC urges federal government. States. Next is the Punch newspaper. Electricity supply. Manufacturers, labor, tackle federal government over 240% tariff hike. Insist on subsidy. U.S. offers help as 9 die, 1,000 injured in Taiwan earthquake. At Deleke, Abiodun Hill, Ebenezer Obey at 82nd birthday Thanksgiving. Federal government reopens 3rd mainland bridge. LASMA warns against speeding. Above the masthead, student loan. Federal government plans pilot scheme for public institutions. Steady dollar supply pushes naira to 1,262 to the dollar. Customs, the first quarter revenue surpasses 1 trillion naira. Rise tops 10 billion naira seizures. Delta bloodbath, surrender like Okwama monarch, CDS tells suspected killers. The Guardian newspaper is next. 2 million households to pay 225 naira per kilowatt as prepaid meter may hit 300,000 naira. Nigeria Customs Service records 1.3 trillion naira revenue in first quarter of 2024, detains 22 suspects in 4 months. Man nabbed over alleged abduction of housewife for sexual pleasure in Osun. Transparency, eligibility concerns, unsettled new attempt at student loan scheme. Tinubu, Zulum, Buni, Mourn NLC ex-leader Shiroma. Federal government decries rising abscondment by varsity teachers. That's about it for the Guardian newspaper. Next is the Blueprint newspaper. First quarter 2024, customs net 1.34 trillion naira revenue, seizes 10.59 billion naira goods. Figure represents 122.35% increase, same period, 2023. Fubara, Wike Rao, I'll surprise critics on Peace Pact. Price fall as